Box to Box NBA Preview, hosted by Ndegz.
Welcome to my NBA preview, and we are in the top 3. We made it, baby. We made it, baby. And the team in third place, the one that I'm most excited to talk about, are my Boston Celtics. I will try to be very biased. I will not hide it. So, this is how the 22-23 season went. 57-25 record, second in the East, second best record in the NBA. Obviously, the season started with a lot of drama when Ime Udoka, things happened, then Mazzulla had to take over. Then, obviously, Will Hardy, assistant coach, also went to the Utah Jazz. Started off well as well. Like, that was a really big piece. And then sometime in the middle of the season, we also lost another coach in Damon Stoudemire. All these three coaches were never replaced. So, those are some of the things that Mazzulla had to deal with. First-time coach, young coach, like just going through all of it at once, right? But even then, the Celtics had the best regular season in 13 years and the 5th conference finals in 7 years. Our 5th conference final in 7 years. Had the best net rating in the NBA for majority of the season. And I think the Cavs, if I'm not wrong, one of those teams actually took it. JB and JT had one of the best seasons as a duo, especially considering coming off the finals. People were saying, should they break up the team, the two of them? But all of them actually made all the NBA. Malcolm Brogdon, 6th man of the year. Yeah, man. And started the season off with an historically great offense, and then obviously just tailed off. It cooled off quite crazily. Then Jayson Tatum had a franchise record, the first Celtic to ever average 30 points per game in a season. Then he was only second to Jokic in estimated wins. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's a cumulative version of dunks and threes. And then also estimated plus minus. So when you put all those things together, the only person he was second to was Jokic. So he had a very good season. He had a solid season, and he's just been improving from year to year. But something had to be done. This team was heavily reliant on 5-out offense. Like, basically the ball was not touching the paint. We were not posting up. We were not doing a lot of things that would put other teams in trouble. Like, there are certain things you knew, like once JB and GT go into ISO, if you have a good defense, then you can kind of shut us down, you know? And yeah, so moves had to be made. Obviously, the losses for me were quite big. Let me start with that, because these are people that I've watched. Like Marcus Smart, ever since he got drafted in the NBA, I've watched him every single season. I've watched literally 80% of his games just because he's a Celtic, right? Former defensive player of the year as well. Time Lord, that was a painful one as well. And also, for those of you that know, Time Lord actually got, after getting traded to the Blazers, he played 2 or 3 games, I think, then got a knee injury and is getting knee. He just had the knee operation and is going to be out for the rest of the season. Get well soon, Time Lord. We miss you. Malcolm Brogdon as well. Went with him to the Blazers. 6th man of the year last year, as I said. And the 2 other players we lost were Danilo Gallinari and Mike Muscala. Muscala was an mid-season trade. We really didn't play much. And then obviously Gallinari did his ACL at the beginning of last season. Didn't play a single minute for the Celtics. Then the big ones, the ones that we acquired, now that we are done with the nostalgic bit and the bit that was about to make me cry. We got Drew Holiday. We got Drew. Not only that, we got Kristaps Porzingis, then we got O'Shea Brissett, we got Lamar Stevens, we got Svi Mikhailuk, we got Jordan Walsh, that was a draft pick, and then Peyton Pritchard got paid 4 years, 30 mil, and the person whose jersey I'm wearing, JB, at the time of signing this contract was the biggest contract ever in the NBA. 5 years, 120 million. I feel like he deserves every single cent of that contract. So yeah, JB is my guy. One thing I love about our acquisitions are these are bench players, but normally we've always had bench players who are either rookies or players who just not have played much. O'Shea Brissett, Lamar Stevens, and Mikhailuk are people who Stevens and Mikhailuk were actually starters last season, right? Last season. So Lamar Stevens was basically a starter when for the Cavs whenever the likes of Caris LeVert was injured, who was injured quite a bit, and Mikhailuk played a lot. at the Hornets, who were just ravaged by injuries throughout the entire season. And then obviously Oshae Brissett also played a lot last season. So that's why I really love the acquisitions that we got this time around. Then obviously, as I said, draft picks, Jordan Walsh, picked with the 38 pick, 6'8" freshman from Arkansas. This is a quite physical, it's a versatile defender, but he's not been in the rotation. I don't think he's even played a single minute, or maybe he's played like one game. Then he was taken to the G League. I still feel like him is more of like a long-term prospect, someone you can work on and just see where he goes. He did something quite dope the other day. Actually, I'm confusing him with someone else. Anyway, he has alopecia. And Josh Dobbs, the NFL quarterback from the Vikings, also has alopecia. So Josh Dobbs is the one who sent the jersey. But he does a lot of such things in the community as well, So he's quite he knows what he's going through and he's quite open about it and trying to help people who are just going through like the same thing, right? So shout out to him. Then players on expiring contracts: Luke Cornett, who started the season quite well as well, Svi Mikhailuk and Lamar Stevens. With those moves, this is how the rotation looks like. Point guard Jrue Holiday, shooting guard Derek White, then small forward Jaylen Brown, power forward Jayson Tatum, center Kristaps Porzingis, off the bench Peyton Pritchard, and then Sam the flamethrower Hauser, Al Horford, Big Al, Luke Cornett, Delano Banton, Lamar Stevens, Oshae Brissett, as we said, Nehemias Queta, who looked really good in preseason. Then he's just been out with he's not played the regular season yet. Then J.D. Davison, Jordan Walsh, and Nathan Knight. My one big question for my Boston Celtics. I have so many questions, but for the sake of this show or this preview, my one big question for the Boston Celtics is, can Jayson Tatum elevate his playmaking? Because I feel like he can easily get his. Game 7 last year against the Sixers got 50. Like, when he wants to get his, he can get his. His shot was off. There were times he was up and down. This season, he started the season quite well. But one thing that I really want to see from him is playmaking. He's sort of doing that now because he's posting up a lot more. He's posting up a bit, like about 4 to 5 times more per game. And that leads to easy offense, especially having KP around there, right? So I feel like also getting Jrue kind of means that he doesn't have to do all of that down the stretch, right? You have Jrue, you have Derek White, who's not shy when he needs to take over a game. That's one thing I love about our Celtics, is that at any given moment, success can come in different ways. It can come through Derek White, it can come through Jrue Holiday, it could come through Al Horford, just being a beast on the boards and knocking down threes, JB driving to the basket, JT playmaking and making those crazy shots, or KP just being a menace at the 3-point line and at the rim. Like, we have many ways. We're quite versatile. This is the one thing that I really prayed for the Celtics, and I'm seeing it. And I prayed for a long time. Can we just post up? Big Al used to be one of those people. Like, early in his career, if you guys have watched Al Horford, he used to be a beast when he used to post up. And I was like, you guys can't just post this guy up. Just do something different. Don't make us too predictable. I felt like at times we're just predictable. But this season, I'm seeing the playmaking has gone up. Like, Jayson Tatum's playmaking specifically has gone up because he's also become a bit bigger, and now he's not scared to go to the post and bang with the big men. Like, if you guys watch the Philly game, the first game the Philly won, second game the Celtics won, he was going at someone like Tobias Harris, who's like at least 250, like 250 pounds, which is like 110, 11, 15, something like that, right? And he was just going after him, and he's not scared to go to the post and actually fight with the big men. So that's my one big question. Can JT elevate his game? For JB, obviously, he's going to improve his ball handling. We just need him to still be clutch and just attack the rim as he normally does. But he needs to pick his moment. So this team is going to require a lot of sacrifice from everyone, and everyone needs to buy in. 24-second prediction. Shot clock. My Boston Celtics are going to be second in the East, but they're going to make the NBA Finals. I don't need to say much. Like, I just believe it. This team is the real deal. And had the Bucks not gotten rid of Jrue Holiday, I would still lean towards them. I'm still leaning towards them to have a bit of a better season just because they have Giannis, right? And they've gotten offensively, they don't need to play much defense the regular season, but offensively, I feel like they are much, much, much better than they were last year and way more I'll get to them for a second soon. But for the Celtics, getting Drew Holiday from the Bucks was big, was massive. Like, that is quite understated. KP needs to stay fit, obviously, but with this squad, finals. That is where we're going. I'm not even anything less than a game 7 in the finals. I don't want to hear about it. Celtics, it's your turn. Let's do this.
Ready for the ultimate slam dunk of content? Don't miss out on any of our NBA previews. Hit subscribe and be the MVP of your basketball knowledge game.